port had approached us to help them identify some additional navigational aids for the pilots bringing ships into the Blair waterway, and that was the beginning of the work.
So Dr. Weir talked to the pilots beforehand, and they had discussed the fact that they have to climb up the sides of the container ships on a rope ladder.
As much as 100 feet, I guess, off the water, so that's a long ways to pack a heavy device.
So their requirement was something very small. So the challenge was actually finding the laptop or a computing device that was small enough to meet the pilot's needs, but it would also run the software required and meet the software's minimum requirements.
Well, there are a number of problems that the pilots have to deal with in terms of getting a ship safely into the dock. And one of the things that the Port of Tacoma is very concerned about is safety and any negative environmental impacts that could occur from an accident while bringing a ship in. So anything that Charles can come up with that will make it safer and more economical to bring ships into the Port of Tacoma will result in more business for the port and an improvement for the economy. The agreement with the port was that we would do this project on a phased basis. The first phase of the project was to discuss with the pilots what their needs were, and then ask Charles to go out and start the investigation. That was phase 2 of the project. And as a result of his work, he came up with a PowerPoint presentation, and today we presented that material to the executives, a couple of them at the Port of Tacoma, and they have now requested that we give them a formal report that they can share with the pilots.
So the next step, the phase 3, if it does go ahead, would be to start looking at putting together a prototype.
Prototype system, right.
Yes.
And that we would demonstrate the ability of the mapping system to show the information about the port and this additional information that Charles mentioned, such as salinity and currents and tide, boom position, ship position. If they can see that, then hopefully we can convince them that this is a valuable solution.
I'm from the East. I'm from the East Coast, and I just moved out here with my wife. She is a resident at Madigan Army Hospital. She's in the Army, so we moved out last summer. I worked for the Navy while she was in medical school, and so she got her MD and her doctor and is now working, and gave me the opportunity to go back to school and to further my education. So I was looking around at the schools and in the fall, and I called.
Before classes started?
I called the week before classes started, and I talked to the advisor, and she said, well, this is very good news. We'd like to have you come. I need your decision very quickly because classes start next week. And the decision was pretty much already made, and I decided to come.